we need to talk about some trans stuff because we apparently missed Trans Visibility Day yesterday. That was a day.
You're racist.
Well, because they have so many days and so many weeks and so many months that it's impossible to keep them all straight. But we did forget it, and so we're gonna have Nancy Mace remind us of it later on in this montage. But first, I just want you to read the description, the bio of this University of Michigan professor.
I can't wait.
Please share.
Okay, here. Oh my God. Okay. Shanna K. Katari, PhD, MED, CSA, they, them, theirs, is an associate professor at the School of Social Work in the Women's and Gender Studies Department by courtesy, and is the director of the Sexuality, Relationships, Gender Research Collective, a white, Jewish, non-binary, disabled, chronically ill, neurodivergent, I don't even know what that is. I don't either. Polyamorous, queer, fat femme. Their practice and community background is as a board certified sexologist.
Oh God.
Certified sexuality educator and social justice activist. Surprise! Katari's methodological research, focuses on these areas that often overlap: disability and ableism, including neurodivergence, MAD studies, and disability justice. What the F is MAD?
I don't know.
Okay. Sexuality and sexual health, including reproductive justice, and queer and trans affirming practice in behavioral, physical, and sexual health spaces. This is all made up. This is all just like somebody just threw a bunch of words together and they made shit up.
Did Kamala write this? Like what? What even is it?
It's so stupid, you guys. This is ridiculous that we fund this crap. We fund it. I can't.
Yeah. This is a publicly funded university, and this is who they are paying to educate kids.
And it's the fact that this woman teaches anybody about sex makes me like, I won't eat for the next at least 4 hours. That makes me sick.
Oh my God.
So
I did not realize too that Jasmine Crockett had ever weighed in on the whole trans women in sports issue. But she did. She was speaking to an audience and just said the dumbest stuff. Here it is.
To them, the trans kids that want to play the sports, Lord have mercy, that is the biggest issue that we had. Since when? Find the little trans child that is ruining your life. Like, I mean, I'm just like, what?
She screams a lot, doesn't she? She just hoots and hollers and screams a lot. It's really annoying. Yeah.
Well, and I guess her point was to say this happens so infrequently that, like, why do we care?
Well, I care. She obviously doesn't have a child who plays sports.
Bingo.
So it doesn't matter to her. Sorry, it doesn't matter to you, Jasmine. But I got a girl that is a swimmer, and it matters to me because the sport is in jeopardy because of that. And the NCAA doesn't give a shit about her. So it actually matters to me. Sorry, it doesn't matter to you.
And it matters to the 900 plus girls who have lost out on medals and awards already. I mean, that was just the last time they counted. Yeah. So yes, it may be a small fraction of the NCAA makeup of
and
athletes,
to their parents,
but it matters.
And it matters to their parents who also have made sacrifices to make sure that those girls have gotten to the places where they've gotten, and those boys have taken opportunities away from them. It matters to all of us. Anybody that loves those girls, it matters to them.
This is why this argument about, well, it's such a tiny part of the population, but this is the argument that they keep making. Here's just another example.
The population of transgender people in this country is minuscule. It's tiny. And I think at the collegiate level, I might be wrong, I think there's only 11 transgender athletes that play at the collegiate level, okay? So I ask us all, why are we spending so much time talking about an issue that impacts so few people.
Because you've never worked for anything in your life. You've never, those 11, whatever, it doesn't even matter how many, those 11 biological males are taking opportunities away from girls who have worked their whole lives to get to that place. And so these are people who are trying to diminish women. They're trying to diminish girls and women that have worked their whole lives for something. This is not feminism. It's just not.
No, it's like the antithesis of feminism.
Mhm.
And actually, if you think about how illogical that argument is, that there's only 11 people, 11 trans athletes. So why are we giving it all this attention?
Right.
Turn that on its head. If there are only 11 athletes, then I'm sorry, but screw them, because there are hundreds and thousands of legit girls and women. They should be the ones, they should be the majority of people that we're concentrating on, and not this fringe that we need to change literally everything for.
You're
If
right.
it's just that many people, then they are the ones that need to sit out, not the other people. They should not be the ones that are suffering for a tiny few. So that argument just makes me so mad, because it's just illogical. It just
like,
doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's only 11 biological men like busting in on women's locker rooms. So why are you so worried about it? Why are you so worried about it?
Everything for 11 men?
For
that
11
doesn't make
men
any sense.
that want to be in girls' locker rooms. These people are mentally freaking ill, is what they are. I'm over it.
Perfect segue into that horrible, awful, terrible, disgusting trans weirdo, Lily, whatever. I don't know what the last name is that he goes by. This is the guy that is constantly going to restaurants attempting to get misgendered so he can record it and post it on social media. He's awful. So this guy recently had feminine, facial feminization surgery, which you remember Caitlyn Jenner had with some degree of success, I guess. Lily, not so much. But Lily's convinced that he now looks like a woman because of all the surgery that he went through. So he did this montage of like what happened before surgery, during surgery, like a 30-day, here's how I'm changing to look more and more like a woman. You guys tell me if you think he looks more feminine. This is 4 days before, 3 days. By the way, this look that he has on his face, it's so scary.
It's a dude.
That's right after.
Okay.
Next morning. Same afternoon.
Like a dude that's been punched in the face. You know?
3 days later, 5 days, 7 days. He looks
exactly the same. Exactly the same. My God, this is hysterical.
I kept waiting and waiting. So surely a month goes on and he'll look so much more soft and feminine.
No, still look like a dude. You know why? Because you're a dude. That's why you look like a dude. Okay.
But my favorite is the last one. He's so proud. Look at him. He's so happy with it. He's like, yay, look at, I'm a girl.
He's like, is there like a big scar on his forehead? Is that what?
Because they do some sort of brow bone softening of some sort.
Okay, all right.
It is literally the same. Like he went through all of that.
For nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Which I think is a little karma, right? That's a little karma.
Oh, totally. Yeah. God is like, don't mock me. You go ahead and mock me and I'll show you what's going to happen. Right.
Oh my God. I just love that so much. And so now that he's all recovered, he's back to making the exhausting, ridiculous videos of him being constantly oppressed, right? So the latest way that he's been oppressed is that he had his bank account frozen. He explains why. I think it's legit. Totally. Here he is.
I recently bought a plane ticket to visit my family in a few weeks, and lo and behold, my account got disabled, which is fine. That's normal. It's a big purchase. So I called up and I said, hey, my account got disabled. And they said, are you calling for yourself or on behalf of someone? I said, nope, I'm on behalf of myself. I'm Lily. I said, Lily, right? Yeah, Lily. Okay. And then they throw every security question of the book. They're asking my everything, my mom's maiden name, like everything. And then they put me on hold, and a hold for a minute or two is fine because it was just like 1 or 2 purchases. Like there's not that much to review. but it's like 10, 15 minutes. And it's like, they're not looking at these purchases. They must be like talking to someone. They have to be suspicious. I'm almost certain they're suspicious because of my voice. They come back and of course they call me sir. Immediately I say, nope, I'm not a sir. I'm a transgender woman. And they say, oh, okay, I'm so sorry, sir. And it's like,
I'm so sorry.
Okay, now I'm getting really upset because it's obvious what's happening. And then they say, oh, by the way, we're going to be placing a 3 business day hold on your account, which basically means I have no money. Rent is due in a few days, so don't know what I'm going to do about that. Really upsetting. And just because of my voice, I didn't realize that in order to be a customer at this bank as a transgender person, I had to voice train. They should probably put that on their marketing materials.
Oh, really?
So other trans people
they
know not to give that bank their business.
No, they shouldn't do anything. They shouldn't put any such thing on their marketing materials. But you know what you should do is get a prostate exam soon. You should do that very soon because we're concerned about your health here on the Chicks on the Right show. Right. You should totally do that soon, sir. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So this weekend, we're going to release a new episode of a conversation that we just had with our friend and sponsor of the show, Zach Abraham from Bulwark Capital Management. And he was actually talking to us from his anniversary trip to Bora Bora.
He was.
But we wanted to ask him about all the tariff stuff that's happening this week. And so obviously tomorrow's the day, right? It's Liberty Day. We're supposed to feel all kinds of effects from these tariffs. The markets did recover yesterday, but we wanted to ask him, like, what do you think is really going to happen? And he, of course, had brilliant insight, as he always does, which is why we always recommend that if you're looking for somebody to give you a second opinion on your financial portfolio, just take advantage of the fact that he is free to get a second opinion from. He's happy to have a consultation with any of you. There's no obligation to that. You can do it by just going to knowyourriskradio.com. That again is knowyourriskradio.com.
Advisory services offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security. Any references to performance of securities are thought to be materially accurate, and actual performance may differ. Investments involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 24308.
So there's also this guy, and I don't know his name, but it's a straight, and I definitely use that term loosely. It's a man who claims he's straight, but whose girlfriend is a trans woman. Now, granted, that trans woman passes a whole heck of a lot better than this freak does. But regardless, that person still has boy parts. And so the guy makes videos constantly just trying to convince everyone that he's straight and that dating a trans woman is totally legit. And so our friend, who we're going to be interviewing soon, Becky White, responded to him, and it was just absolutely perfect.
5 things I wish I had known before dating a trans woman, part 2. So if liking men makes you gay, and liking women makes you straight, what does not liking men, but liking women of all types, including trans women, make?
Homosexual. It makes you a homosexual. And that's okay. You do not have to go through so many different steps to try and pretend like you're not gay. You are. You can still be a big tough cowboy there, buddy. You're just more of the Brokeback Mountain variety, and that is absolutely okay. There's nothing wrong with being gay, but there is something wrong with the mental gymnastics that you're doing to try and pretend that you're not.
Right. Yes, Becky. Yes. You're gay in a cowboy hat. That's what you are. I love her. God,
I think I said Becky White. It's Weiss. Becky Weiss.
It's Becky Weiss. Yeah, you did.
Oh my God.
Not.